Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from the Moose on the Loose. Welcome to Retirement Friday. So today we're going to talk about retirement plan, but at each stage of age. So where should you be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s at T minus 5, at T minus 1, and then T moving forward. So T being the age of retirement. I'm going to make a parallel as well with what I did in my 20s, 30s, and what I'm doing right now in my 40s to give you an idea. Personally, from my financial planner background, I would say it's never too young to start planning. So if you have children in their 20s, maybe you want to send that show to them so they know exactly what they should be doing in their 20s and moving on, because you know the power of compounding interest is just greater if you start at a younger age. But of course, different age, different stage, different types of plan and decisions. So let's get started with the 20s. I mean, of course, best timing ever to start planning. If you start making the right financial decisions in your 20s, you're going to benefit from them during like 40 years, and then you're going to retire. It's kind of crazy. Or it's going to help you retire even earlier than at the age of 60 just because you're making the right decisions. It's just pure math. But at this stage, you don't need a full retirement plan, right? The most important part is to create habits. Habits, why? Because now you're starting to make a little bit of money. And if you start on the right side right away to put money aside, put yourself first, and invest like periodically, that is super important. You create those habits and then they're going to follow you for the rest of your life. So it's not about putting everything aside and sacrificing your 20s, because the 20s are fun, right? You need to explore, you need to have fun, you need to travel. And I did all of that. But one of the things that I did in my 20s, on top of having a lot of fun, is I worked 2 jobs. So I was working in a bank from Monday to Friday. On Saturday, I was delivering bread in the morning. So I still had my entire weekend, but I was just getting a little bit less sleep. And then I created a side gig. So I had an online business starting in 2006, started to blog, and then eventually buy and sell blogs, and eventually created Dividend Stocks Rock in 2012, 13, sorry. So in 2013, and then it grew as my main source of income. But in my 20s, I had 2 jobs, working a side gig, maxed out my RSP every year, invested as much as I could, started leverage as well with a Smith maneuver. I bought shares of my employer's National Bank back then. So I was creating those habits. Now, moving on to your 30s, this is where you consolidate those habits. Why? Because life gets busy in your 30s, right? You may build your career. Maybe you will build a family. You have hobbies. You have friends. You're going to travel, enjoy life. So there's not too much time to think about money, right? And this is probably the moment where there's a lot more money going out. So having a car, having a mortgage, and all of that things. And if you have kids, I mean, God knows it costs a lot to have those, right? I love them. But yeah, so this is a moment where if you have your habits set in your 20s, you can set it and forget it and keep moving forward. The point is really just to keep on chugging as you're building your life, what you want. So it's important to think about that too. For example, at the age of 35, I actually quit my job. I jumped in an RV, and with my 3 kids, yes, already at the age of 35, and my wife, and we drove across North America and then Central America. We ended up in Costa Rica for 3 months, and then we came back. So a full year on the road. I kind of decided to take a full year of vacation. So taking like my next 26 years of vacation up front, boom, I'm going to consume them already. So I'm going to retire for a year and then I'm come back. So when I came back, mid 35, I decided to never come back as a private banker at the bank and work full-time on Dividend Stocks Rock. So I hustled again on my business, worked very hard, putting a lot of hours because I was all in. Instead of having multiple sources of income, I was just having one and decided that that was the way for me to do. So Fortunately, my habits were already there. I already had a good pension plan that was amassed, and then I maxed my RSPs until the age of 35. So I got some good money for my retirement already, but then it was time to move a little bit faster this way. So, by the way, it was the best decision of my life. It was a highly expensive year if you're looking at it from a financial point of view, but it was the best year of my life, and I already lived like for 26 years worth of vacation in one shot. So when I came back, I told my wife, you know what, I still want to live and enjoy life and everything, but if I had to die tomorrow morning, I would be super happy in a sense where I did the maximum that I could have done with the time that I had. But fortunately, I'm still here. So moving into your 40s, this is where you start to get the fruits of your labor, right? Or you feel late in the game. So either you have worked hard, you put your money aside, and then you benefit the power of compounding. You see that your portfolio is growing. Like this is exactly what I did. So I stopped adding capital about 8 years ago. I invested all my money into DSR for several years. And this year it's a little bit changing. Now I can invest a little bit more, but for several years, it was just my capital growing, tax sheltered, not adding any money. On the other side, you may feel that you're a bit late in that game, and I mean, you still have, yeah, I mean, maybe you have enjoyed your life a little bit too much in your 20s and 30s, but you still have some good years in front of you. So if you want to have $1 million by the age of 65 and you have zero at the age of 40, I mean, it's time to press on the pedal, right? I mean, you need about $16,000 a year. So it's like $1,300 a month at 6.5% to get that $1 million. So if you're not there or you don't think you're going to make it, well, then it's time to revise your plan and see how you're going to retire and what your retirement life will look like, because now you're getting close to that point. So it's important to have a better idea of your budget and what you can afford or not. On my side, now I focused on reaching financial independence, like full independence by the age of 50. Like I told you many times, I just love running a business. I see that as a game. I want to keep playing. And of course, I'm not going to stop at the age of 50. But having like a bigger cushion will kind of like make my life more enjoyable, because I won't have to stress about anything anymore and just continue to enjoy playing. So now moving on to your 50s. So now you get a better vision of what you want to do in retirement. Maybe you're about to retire if you did everything on the financial side correctly. You could probably retire like Freedom 55, right? I don't know if you remember that commercial. I mean, I started my financial planning journey and the financial Freedom 55 was still all over the place. So now it's time to look at what you have remaining in debts, what you have in terms of assets, what will be your income sources at retirement, and run different scenarios to see at what age you can retire, which kind of business, which kind of lifestyle you're going to have, which kind of budget you can run. Can you focus on paying down your debt? Is this something more important for you, or you're comfortable with having maybe a small remaining mortgage at the age of retirement? So that is all personal decisions. One are better than the others depending on the situation, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you to this is the right time to start running a financial projection to know exactly where you're going, because then you get into the details. Because in your 50s, you're going to get very close to T-5, so 5 years before retirement. So it could be 50, it could be 55, it could be 70. That depends on each journey, but 5 years before retirement, this is now the time to optimize. So you're going to put all the pieces together, your income sources, your pension, your assets, everything, and then you build a real plan. So you need to know how you're going to address the sequence of withdrawals. So which accounts are going to start funding your retirement first? Is there a better way to do it to save on taxes? Or maybe you want to give some money away while you're alive, die with zero mentality. So all of those things needs to be shaped into a real plan, so you know exactly the itinerary of your journey into retirement. That leads us to T-1, where now you're there. I mean, you're going to retire in 12 months, right? So you need to prepare year zero of your retirement. So the cash reserve must be done, the income sources planned out, the projections on how and when you're going to withdraw your money, and stress test everything. So check out if you die early, what's happening with your spouse, market crash, all of those things needs to be put into your projections, because now you're getting very, very close to the real moment of enjoying your retirement. And then once you reach T0 and then +1, +2, +5, +10, it's all about retiring each year. That's why a financial projection tool is so important after you retire, not just only before, because then every year will be a little bit different, right? The market will influence your portfolio, your lifestyle, everything that you want to do. Maybe you want to have maybe you're going to have a major expense in 3 years, like a car or repairing the roof, home renovations, a children's wedding. All of those special expenses need now to be put it into your portfolio and your projection to know exactly how you can address them. And again, get access to your money in a tax optimized way, because you don't want to just withdraw $100,000 from your RSP in a single year. You're going to pay a ton of taxes, and that may be not optimal. So retiring each year, super important to manage your budget. And it's also a great way to feel confident about your retirement and not looking at the stock market every single day. So if every year you run the calculations, you know that you're good, you know that you have a clear plan, and the next 12 months are already defined, and you can adjust with an agile budget because you are retiring each year. So, all right, Moose, that's enough for today. I hope that you will enjoy your weekend, and next Monday, I'm going to tell you how I would address investing if I had to start all over again. All right, take good care, and until the next time, stay invested.